my name is Eric, and I'd like to introduce you to my tutoring business. I do tutoring for students who are relatively advanced relative to their peers. I do this because I am a Davidson alumnus. I graduated college when I was 17 years old, and as such, I have a lot of experience in the situation where you're too young for most people to take you seriously or to offer you certain materials. I think that this is a problem that needs to be remedied, and therefore I'm working on offering materials like Python, like optimization AI, like orbital mechanics, and like advanced calculus to young students who need this kind of intellectual engagement. Today, I'd like to talk to you about some of the classes that I'm offering next semester in the spring of 2026, and some of the ways that I go about offering these classes and ensuring that students get the best experience out of them as possible. I'm Eric Comstock, and these are my spring 2026 classes that I'm going to be talking about and that I'm going to be offering this spring. So I'm going to be showing you some examples of the class notes from previous class offerings, including optimization AI and from orbital mechanics. Here you can see an example of optimization AI class notes. As you can see, we're covering a lot about the genetic algorithm and about gradient descent. Both of these are methods that are commonly used in optimization and are very commonly used in neural networks and AI. And I'm going to be teaching students how to code these methods in Python using only fundamentals of differential calculus and things that we'll learn along the way. Over here you can see some of the stuff that we covered in orbital mechanics. This is a lot of integral calculus that we're doing because this class, orbital mechanics 2, focused mainly on the use of large-scale integration methods in order to get analytical approximations of orbits, in contrast to orbital mechanics 1, which offers more robust but numerical approximations instead, which use differential calculus instead of integral calculus. For any of these classes, but especially for the Python class, we're going to be doing everything via a system of payment blocks. So as you can see here, there are 3 payment blocks in the preliminary payment schedule. The first block is 2 weeks, the second and third blocks are 5. This is to ensure several things. First of all, that students can get a taste of the class before fully committing to the entire semester. I believe that's important because I believe that people should be paying for classes that they actually want to take, and if the class ends up not suiting your interests, I believe that you should have the freedom to opt out of it without suffering additional losses. In addition, this is especially important for the Python class because I'm going to be covering everything in general Python course, starting from the extremely easy stuff, going to the medium stuff, going to the extremely hard. So if you're a Python beginner, start at the beginning, take the first block, see how you like it as you go forward. If you're intermediate, maybe start at the second block, maybe start at the third block. If you're an advanced learner, then perhaps you should wait until April, and that way you can start learning the topics that you're really, really interested in without having to skip through all of this additional easy stuff beforehand. In general, this is just set up to make things as convenient as possible for people taking my classes and to ensure that you get the experience that you desire. As far as homework, I am firmly of the belief that homework should be designed to teach stuff. It should not be designed to punish. Because of that, I offer a very lenient partial credit grading policy where if you turn in your homework late, I'm going to add a reduction in grading points to that, but this doesn't just apply to turning in homework late. You can also just redo the homework. So if you do homework, we're going to send you back out grades. We're going to send you grades with detailed write-ups of what you did wrong. Fix it, send it back to me within 1 week, and you get 85% of your points back. Oh no, I made a 50. Well, you can get 85% of your points back. That 50 is now a 92.5. You got an A. Oh no, I made a 60, and I couldn't get the new thing in until 2 weeks later. Well, even if you made a 60, that's still only a 30% reduction. So if you lost 40 points, we change that down to only 12 if you submit it with full corrections. And now instead of having a 60, you've got an 88. You know, that's a B+. That's pretty good. Same with 2 weeks to 3 weeks late. And even if for some reason you can't get the new homework submitted until the end of the semester, I'm still going to be giving you 40% of your points back. You can always make up points because that's how learning works. You have to try. If you don't succeed at first, you have to try again. That's how you learn. I will include office hours and email availability. I typically have 2 to 3 hours of office hours a week. That'll be to be determined based on my class schedule because I'm taking classes too. I'm a PhD student, so I am technically also a student. But in any case, I've also included an example of an example homework problem. This is from Orbital Mechanics 1, which is a college level class, but I don't require anything more than just algebra to do it. So for example, here we're talking about harmonic oscillators and using state functions. Essentially what we're doing here is this is a Python assignment. We want you to use the finite difference method, which is what we use in orbital mechanics 1 for numerical simulations. That's the robust one I was talking about before. And a harmonic oscillator is sort of like a toy example. It's not the full 3-dimensional orbital mechanics system, but it's the one before. It's the one that we use to make sure you've got an understanding of the material. Then we jump to the super complex super system afterwards. All right, about me. I'm a PhD candidate. Right now I'm going to Georgia Tech in my third year of my PhD. I've already published one journal article and submitted another, so I've published stuff. I got my Master's of Science in Aerospace Engineering at Georgia Tech in 2024, Bachelor of Science Aerospace Engineering Texas A&M 2022. I have more than a decade of experience in tutoring. I've been doing this since I was very young, and I've taught hundreds of people before. So if you'd like to see testimonials, look at my website. I've got a ton of testimonials there. Payment options. So Zelle is my primary payment method. Please send it to my via Zelle to eric.comstock@gatech.edu. That's my email account for Georgia Tech. That's the one that I use to receive Zelle payments. Only the first block is required to reserve your spot, unless you want to be in the second or third block and not the first. If you're like, yes, I'd really like to be in the second block specifically because my son already knows how to install Python, has an integrated development environment. Awesome. Pay for this, then pay for the second block. That's what the blocks are for. But essentially, you just have to pay for one block that reserves your spot. Still buy my website. My website is eric.comstock.com. You can find all of my stuff over there. There's the Python and the optimization AI, which my face is cutting off, but I'll also send out a copy of these slides. Let me know if you have any questions. You can send them to my email. You can send them to my LinkedIn. I've also got a questions form on my website. You can reach me in tons of ways. I'm available. I'm always happy to answer questions. Thank you for your interest. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation, and I wish you the best of luck in your and your family's educational journeys in the coming semester.